of my disillusionment is this feeling that I'm surrounded by a bunch of rich kids who were sent here by their parents, and everything's
especially
everything's
especially
tailored to them.
especially when you look at like I think various majors, like certain majors. So probably not so much engineering or some of the other ones, but like business is definitely a big one.
This is like a huge one, but it's like it seems like they just come here, everything's handed to them, and they have someone like whispering into their ear like, "You're going to be a leader. Like you have what it takes to change the world." I think it gives a very I think that the modern college institution, the way the model's set up, I think it gives like a very like unrealistic view of what the real world is actually like.
Yeah,
And it really, I mean, and honestly, all that to say, leads to like a lack of maturity for the most part, which is probably the most important thing.
I think
Like moving off campus really show like giving me this like new perspective of where I like really saw that.
yeah,
But yeah, it's kind of an amazing experience just walking to the track.
yeah. It sounds like an interesting experience. But I think also it's easy to get disillusioned about it. Um, but then there are some real purposes to having a degree. So um, I think there's a way to be disillusioned, and but then there's also like a real purpose. So I think that's what people need to find is like why am I here? I think that's
Yeah, well, yeah, that's
because
exactly.
it can immensely be a growing experience. A lot of vocation directors will say, hey, you need to mature a little bit. Why don't you go to college? And the idea is that that's a place for you to mature. And I think for a lot of people it is. But
I think that's where I would disagree because I think that that's what you do in high school. College, you
no,
what?
high school you would get mature? No way. I've
Well,
never heard of that.
now it's not the case. Now it's certainly not the case. But I think that's what it used to be. That's what it should be.
Okay,
I think that as
definitely.
at college, you should probably have it all figured. Like, not obviously, you don't have it all figured out. You will do some growing, but in terms of like maturing, people used to get married at like 18, 19. Used to be way more mature. They were maturing during the high school years.
Well,
I think
actually,
college, as an
I
adult,
think
without your
developmentally we've actually gotten to the point where things are happening a lot later. Unfortunately, I don't know whether that's because like if you look back at Roman times, people were getting married as early as like 16, I think. So
14, like
something crazy. Whereas I think we're just developmentally it's a lot different to the I think we're able to perform there's able to be more time to develop and so there's not this need to get out. So maybe that's part of it.
Do you think that that's like a social
I
construct?
don't
Like, do you think that that's
I think it's I just think it's a change in general. I don't think that you can do that. I just think in general we've changed to that point. I don't know.
is like a hmm. Because I think what I'm trying to articulate here is I think that that's partly on the fault of our new systems, our new institutions, our new like this new modern paradigm we're in. I don't think it.
Possibly, possibly, but like even if you're trying to do everything right, we're just developmentally we just grow up at a
Well,
different age.
think about technology, what that does to us. Like I know I would say I wouldn't say maybe I would say most kids. I have to like do some research on this. You have like
That's
two
fine.
computers in front of you to probably Google this, but like the amount of children who have technology just kind of shoved into their faces is kind of like these pacifiers.
Yeah,
Well,
I think it
also
leads to depression, honestly.
that too, but also think about that. So you have that, but also the way our these new institutions are set up, both in the well actually not both in the elementary, middle school, and high school years. It's like their time is so structured. They don't have a whole lot of free time, and here's why that's important. That's where you learn to control yourself. That's when you learn to mature. You don't have someone necessarily holding your hand. I'm not against a little bit of that, but I think you can have too much. And so people start becoming like dependent, and that's why they're not necessarily as mature as they used to be going into
But
colleges.
I also think we are changing over time. Like there's definitely changes between generations and stuff.
Because this seems like a change that's kind of like this. Like this is not a good change.
I don't know when you're able to provide for I think it can be good and bad. I think you can have more time to develop. Um, yeah, but I also think going back on the whole college thing is it can be a good thing. I think it's the way you approach it. Eating itself out of the box is not gonna change you if you're not going in there to get changed. But I think in a lot of ways, like I've developed much more than I could have at home because I think especially for men, they need to get out of the house.
Hmm.
And a lot of times I think college is kind of that middle ground where if I don't have a job yet and I don't have professional experience, I can go and gain that professional experience. And then I really develop where I can come out of college
Hmm.
and have professional. I think that's what it is.
So you're developing more professionally though.
Yes.
'Cause I would say that
Yeah, because you're
it's
not
a
with your family, and
yeah.
you should not I you should not be living with your family while you're in school. I think that kind of ruins the point. I think that ruins
Yeah,
the purpose.
I think especially for it's like young men, as you say. Yeah, it's really important to
In order
college does provide that.
because college is your first introduction to kind of the 40-hour workday, you
Mm.
know?
Well, I
If
don't think it should be. I think you should have a job prior to college, like just like even like a night.
sure, sure. But
That's a realistic
oftentimes you
option.
don't have full time. Oftentimes you're not going to be able to get full time without that professional experience. You can get close, but a
No, I
lot
think
of
that the
people don't.
experience. I think that the experience you would get, even just working at a fast food restaurant, is far more realistic and far more practical than living here at college.
Sure.
I think
I
so.
don't I don't I don't
I
agree.
would
I
say
don't
at
think I
least
agree.
okay. I wouldn't. I
It's a good step. It's a good step. I don't think it's I don't know. I have a brother who's working as a manager and I'm just like I don't I don't like it. I don't
does
like
he not
that.
plan on going into like college?
Yeah, no, he doesn't want to go. He wants to go into the trades and stuff, which is
The
fine.
trades are awesome. We need more trades.
Yeah,
By the
not
way,
everybody should be coming to college.
I think that might be the biggest. Not that I can't talk. That might be the heart of our problem. We're sending way too many people to like college,
Yeah.
and that could be it. We should just be seeing. I might be
We see
seeing
it as
this.
too normal.
Yeah, I might be seeing this being like, oh man, people are just so immature. But in actuality, they just have a whole different.
Also, if you
Oh,
get exposed to different groups, you start to see different levels of maturity in people.
that's true. I mean, that's true anywhere.
I think it's where you are.
But I
I
think
don't know. All of the people like in engineering, especially if you run into them, uh, tend to be pretty mature. Tend to be
yeah.
pretty
See, in
mature.
my department, that's not the case. Well, maybe more so than other departments, but
Some
in
people,
journalism, well,
I think the
math
problem is
communications.
sometimes the difference between mature and artsy. I
Well,
think
people who think that they're artsy,
no, they are.
they think
I think
yeah,
I think artists are very interesting, and I think college is definitely a great place to develop that because we do need artists. We do need artists. They're
of
kind of
course.
like a pinnacle of thing, but they do act differently than other people. Like the, there are things that are very different about them. I think that's just something we just have to accept. Like
That's
they
true.
should be more mature, but then again, they're also artists, and artists are important.
Yeah,
And artists need to be more in touch with certain things that maybe you and I don't need to be.
that's. I mean, I would absolutely
You
agree with
know,
that. I think
a
that
lot of paintings probably come out of like I think there's a danger, but I also think there's a purpose for when you're very in touch. So I think part of it, I think it's easy to see everything as immature instead of seeing some things as just kind of different.
yeah. But do you think that these, like, especially in America, do you think that the way these new institutions are set up, especially pushing this college experience so much, do you think that that is facilitating an environment that promotes maturity, or is it facilitating an environment that's similar to one that they had at home, where everything was kind of handed to them? For example, we
Some
have
things are
literally three restaurants on campus, kind of. If you count the cafeteria as like a restaurant,
sure.
that food provided all day long. You even have like even like snack areas you can go to. We have places where they live
I think
where
it can be
everything's
a
clean.
danger, but you can also use it. Like I know I think
Do you
I
think?
think there's one thing where the college does tend to push you towards like they want you full because part of it is the food is also a social aspect.
Mhm.
I think that's where people need a lot of people need to have some growth is like um you need to a lot of the reasons I think that kind of thing is prepared and a lot of reasons why I think why they push it your freshman year is so that you're out talking to people. I think that's a bigger problem than maybe not cooking all 4 years of college because college is sometimes harder, especially depending on your major. is going to be harder in general than even every day to day, especially if you have somebody else, if you're married or whatever, you can split things. So for some people, it just doesn't work. Some people can cook all day long. Some people just can't.
Yeah, and that's why it's important to have.
I
But
think it's the social because I have seen people who are not out there socially. I don't think you have to be out there all the time, but you should not be in your room all the time.
that's true. But I don't think that having a cafeteria. I actually see what
That's the point. Food is a very social
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah, but what's stopping someone from like getting their food and going to a table, sitting by themselves? To me, that I don't think that.
Yeah,
Yeah, all these things are
it's
good.
it's harder to do. It's harder to do. Yes, you can do it, but it is often harder to do, especially in a big place like
Yeah,
this.
so I
Like
think
come
that.
towards dinner, good luck finding your own table. You know,
Yeah, I mean that is it depends on the time you go. Like anyone who's introverted is going to find a way around this. That's my point.
I've had, I have, I'm definitely more extroverted, but I've had a lot of people who are introverted who I would not have met if they hadn't been kind of forced into a situation like that.
Mhm.
So I would actually disagree. I would actually say that that has been a great way to meet introverts. I think if you are someone who's very good, very like good at meeting new people, that's your chance to go meet people and to go be with them. Because a lot of times introvert is a good thing, but sometimes it's kind of painful. They want to find someone, but they don't know how to.
Mhm.
It's very awkward. So going out of your way to talk to those people, I think is very important. And I think it's a good thing to do.
Gotcha. So we
Because
live.
they are introverted, but they're there. I think if the introverts had their own little place, it would be hard to reach out to them. So I think honestly, having a big area where maybe they can go pick their own table is your chance to go talk to them. I'm not saying
Mhm.
some of them are just going to really enjoy it and don't want to be talked to, like don't talk their head off, but they do want like there's a good place for companionship.
Yeah, I see what you're saying, and that's definitely what's happening with this modern college experience. Is trying to, yeah, basically provide all these opportunities so that you can make new friends and socialize, and we do that through things like the cafeteria or like Rock Week, where it's like really. I do think you can overstep.
I think we need
Like Rock Week, I felt
I
that was
think
kind of overstepped. Whereas like you're being forced to like talk to people. That's
uh
gonna be awkward.
sure, but it's kind of good because there are some people who really really need it. There's
And
some
I think
people
this should be forced in some cases, but so
I have some of my disagreements, but I think it's the way they do it is kind of good because um, you got to realize a lot of these people, the college is slowly developing you. I don't think you should look at a freshman and go, oh, they're not mature enough because they're going to need 4 years to get there,
mhm.
and they're not going to be 100% there. I doubt I'm going to be 100% there. I think it is good. I think we need to look at things through a different lens.
Okay, so I think maybe I should reframe what I said
That's fine.
because yeah, I'm not saying your developing should be done at high school. That's just not going to happen. What I'm saying is you should be able to act like an adult after high
Oh,
school.
oh yeah.
Now
If
that's not
more
happening.
people acted like adults, that would be
Yeah, I
absolutely
think
great.
that's
I'm
what
not
I think
advocating for that,
that's what I'm saying.
but
I don't think that's happening.
I think it's also important to understand the place for the arts and stuff. Like art, writing, journalism, all that stuff is kind of important and a part of society. If we just went completely practical, like go get it, like go be completely practical, there would be problems. So I think it is kind of good. Like if you're more in a better financial situation, to be able to send somebody to go study music. That's great. Um,
Yeah, if you have those
that they can.
opportunities,
So I think there is a place for that
if you have those
because we
opportunities.
need oftentimes in history, the people with money are able to maintain culture, and that's kind of what they're called to do. Because sometimes the working man can't do that, and so I think I'm fine with that.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I just think that the way these institutions are set up, I don't think it's really preparing us for the real world in a super realistic way. I know that we've talked about this before. I do believe in the total abolition of campus dining being replaced
But
with.
you know where I stand. I think
Yeah. Well, I think yeah, you just laid it out there. But after being a person who's now living off campus and having to cook their own food, you realize it really helps you manage your time when you realize, oh man, dinner's gonna take me like an hour to like prepare. I need to really focus my time.
right. I get that,
Very
but you're also not an engineer.
true, but then yeah, and then this
I
is a
will
common
also say
rebuttal.
like it is a
Yeah,
lifesaver for
this is
some
a
people.
common rebuttal I get where it's like, okay, well, that's great, but I have more homework than you. I'm super busy. Well, do you think that you're going to be any less busy in the real world after you graduate. Unless
Yes,
you have a
yes,
life, probably.
some degree, especially
Yeah.
here because not like a typical college. We're actually encouraging you to do more credit hours than most colleges would think. So you're actually a lot busier by being here because we have more requirements just to get done. So you are going to be spending a lot more time in school than at a normal.
Yeah, yeah, but thinking about like just real life in general, though, it's
Well,
not. It doesn't just end there.
you're going to be busy, but you're going to be able to come home from a 40-hour-a-week job and not have studying to do. Studying is classes is one full-time job, and then studying is like another full-time job for a lot of us, especially if you're more of the engineering. And also, I think if you struggle with the concept that you're really working, that's even more time out of your day. So maybe somebody could cook, but then that changes. So campus dining is a good thing. There are people who will go to restaurants for the rest of their lives. I don't think that's good, but like I don't call for the abolition of restaurants.
That's really expensive. As far
Well,
as anyone, if anyone
some
can
people
afford it,
can
still.
somehow afford that. I guess if you live like you're on college the rest of your life, I guess you could afford it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully, I made it there someday. I don't think that'll be the case though. But no, I think that
Yeah,
yeah,
I think there's a lot of ways to mature. I think campus dining is an important part, and that's an important part of where I spend every day myself because I'm talking to people and working with people.
yeah, you're
That's a
definitely
very common area. So I'm not going to call for that kind of abolition. Yeah.
yeah. I just think it would do more good than it would harm. Honest, I just think that having to like, well, I do think it would really turn people into like more adults, and if that's really what we're trying to do here, like that, I mean, having to like budget money, time,
But I also think there are a lot.
learning how to cook.
I think it's I
That's
think it's
pretty practical.
dependent on where you are because there are a lot of people I would say are very much adults, and to some degree that is a choice. That is a choice.
I think yeah,
If you
it is a
don't
choice.
choose, there's no amount of training that can change you unless
Yeah,
you want to go in
well,
the
it's
military.
also it's not only a choice, but it's also a choice out of necessity. So when everything's handed to you,
I
I
think
don't think you're really gonna
I think
really
it's
shut
good that we
yourself.
offer like military stuff here. That's more important than not having campus dining. I think.
Military stuff.
Yeah, we have all kinds of military training and stuff. A lot of the students
So
here,
like ROTC.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that's great.
they're running like 40 miles a week sometimes. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, yeah,
They're dying. So like
they do PT like
it's
fourth morning.
100% a choice. It's 100% a
Yeah,
choice.
yeah. Well, what's nice about ROTC is that no, it is. But to me, that's different than what we're talking about here. I think our ROTC that's its own thing.
Yeah.
Like if you're doing that, like the military's already training you to like be a leader. They expect you to be somewhat of an adult.
No,
Uh,
they take kids and they make adults out of
I don't know about that one. Well, they did usually they do it through JROTC first. So usually that's been figured out. And that's what I'm saying. Like high schools where it should
them.
happen.
Now, the army takes you, rips you apart, and puts you back together as a different person.
Yeah. Well, they start doing that in high school because what ROTC is like build like leaders.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah.
So
So campus dining. Would you say
I think it's a good discussion to have.
it is good? I just yeah. To me, I think that where I just fundamentally like I wouldn't say fundamentally disagree. I do agree that there's some. I'm not maybe not like the total abolition of like
Yeah.
campus restaurants and
You
dining.
you can't do that and be
It
a campus.
probably be
We're also a
well,
residential campus.
yeah.
Our whole purpose is to change you as a person within the setting of a campus. So maybe at some places that's fine, but that kind of goes against the way this college works.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
You're
exactly.
here,
Yeah,
you're
it's
here often as a residential student. Whether you live 20 minutes away or you live on
yeah,
campus, you're more of a
yeah.
residential.
But to me, like anyone I meet, well, most people I've met some people off campus who are not at all serious students, but most people I meet off campus
Again, it's a
are
choice. It's
much
a
more
choice.
serious about their study because like they have to balance this in addition with maybe even like the job, but also hey, I have to be practical and cook my meals. I have to
I
pay
think
rent
it's also
here.
it can be somewhat unrealistic for certain people.
Mm.
And bring up engineers, architects, that kind of thing.
I've actually had, people say it's actually cheaper to like do housing in Axton than it is to live here, which you
Oh, I'm sure.
yeah.
You're
So
the reason it's more expensive is you're paying for other people to have a living wage, which is good.
Mhm. Yeah, I will say this. I think that if you want the best college experience possible, like if you can, I do understand for some people it's not realistic, but if you can, move off campus, like as soon as possible.
For different people, it's different things. I think.
Like if you once you move off campus, you will see you will be a better
Sure.
person.
Sure.
In
All
my
right.
opinion.
Well, with that, I think we'll wrap it up.
Yeah,
All right.
I think it's definitely an important discussion to have,
Yep.
but I just don't think that American colleges are serving their students in the best way possible.
Yep. All right. Thank you.
Thank